What's going on, you guys? Slim back here with a new video, you guys. And finally, I got a new deck profile coming out of our YBM locals. Shout out to my boy Marco. He took first place with Dragon Link, and this actually makes me super excited because, as you guys know, it's been just a plethora of Tri Brigade, Drytron. We did have the random dinosaur, which was awesome too. And, you know, going forward to our ban list drops, you know, we're going to be trying to feature more of the quote-unquote unique decks. I know it's weird to put Dragon Link in the unique category, but you guys already know, ever since the hit to LP, players been trying to find a way to make the deck work, and it has had some minor success. The deck did place high in some tournaments, and it's awesome to see that players are still finding a way to make dragons work. Like, if you guys don't already know, dragons are probably one of the most beloved archetypes in the game. Like, it's not even up for debate, and I just feel like they just keep printing so much generically good dragon support that no matter what they do to Dragon Link or dragons in general, there'll always be a way to play them. So I think it's awesome. But as always, we're going to go over his deck list. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it because there's some really spicy stuff in here that I like, and we're going to talk about its impact in this format and talk about, you know, if it could potentially be hit by the ban list. But if you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You can be notified whenever I upload. You'll also be notified when I stream on Twitch. Links are in the description. If you want to build this deck or purchase cards in general, please use my TCG player link. It's also in the description below. A portion of what you spend goes back to the channel. It helps me out, and I appreciate it. If you're shopping on ybm.com, use a discount code SLIM. You'll save yourself 5% at checkout. With all that out of the way, you guys, I just want to talk about this because this is just awesome. D-Link is just a deck that I feel like no matter what you do to it, unless you just ban like every good dragon, which will never happen, like the deck will always find a way to come back in the format. So we're gonna get into it. Starting with the Rocket Monsters, we got 2 copies of Absolute Router Dragon, 3 copies of Ash Blossom. We've got, of course, the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Only 1 copy of the Chamber Dragon Maid. That's usually all you need. I remember there was a time that like the list would play 3 copies, but it's changed a lot, and now they've just gone back to 1 copy with multiple copies of Tidying. You got the 1 copy of Levianeer and the prize. Well, I used to call it the prize card, but now you got the Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon. This card is just crazy. It was crazy back then as a prize card, and now that it's available for all players, this card's great. So it's awesome to see. Just an added extender in the deck that just does work. For more hand traps, we got triple copies of Valor, triple copies of Nib. If you notice, outside of Ash Blossom, the other 2 hand traps are light, so that helps with Chaos Space in worst case scenarios, so that can come up. You got 3 copies of Noctivision. Decided to max out on Noctivision. I know some lists I've seen it play 2. I've even seen some random lists that would ever play 1, but I think 3 is really consistent for, you know, chain blocking, all the other stuff you want from this extender in the deck. For the rest of the Rockets, you get the 1 copy of Recharger, 2 copies of the Synchron, 3 copies of the Tracer, and he did max out on 3 copies of Seifert, just one of the best cards as well, and of course the White Dragon Wyba Buster to go with the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, of course, you got the Boot Sector launch. You've got the triple copies of Chaos Space, arguably like the best card in the deck. This card just does everything, just gets you started. It's Ash bait at the worst, so yeah, this card's great. Of course, Dragon Ravine, you search that off Romulus, and this was just a spice. Now, I know Chalice has been seeing a lot of play in other decks. I just really like this card. I like the versatility that it adds. What's cool about this is it does play around talents. It gives you this option when going second and you're going into decks like Tri Brigade. Whenever they set the Revolt, of course, they flip the Revolt, they bring out the Shirag, and you can literally just Chalice it, and it doesn't matter. Like, the card is just great for those interactions. It can also be good in other random matchups. And randomly, that 400 boost, you can use it to yourself, and you can win games off that. That extra 400 can, you know, push you over to where you can just OTK your opponent. So I think this card's super versatile. It's like having another effect Valor. Instead of impermanence and being quick play, like, it just gives you that option too, because usually they're not going to trigger the Revolt till you have a card on the board, and then you can't use your imperm. So I think Chalice is awesome, and I love to see that he main decked it. Then, of course, triple quick launch. I can't believe this card is just not once per turn. And then 2 copies of Tidying. You guys already know, just one of the best interrupt cards for this deck. It just really, you know, sets a lot of decks back. But that's it for the main deck. It's 41 cards. To his side deck, we got 2 copies of Lancia, obviously for like Tri Brigade, any decks that banish. 2 copies of Phantasme. This card is good against every deck in the format except Virtual World, because they don't link summon, but this card is great. Puts another body on board. You can also search it in the deck, so card's very solid. And then he did side the Gamma Driver package. It'll be interesting to see if this card even gets touched on our list. It's weird to see it in Japan. I think it's at 1 now, but it'll be interesting to see if this card even gets touched. Like, this card is fantastic. It's such a high impact hand trap, but it doesn't come without, you know, its risks, of course, of playing the vanilla. But I really want to see what happens when our ban list drops, if they actually do decide to do something to Gamma. That'd be wild, but they did it in Japan, so I wouldn't put anything past him if they bring it here. But he's got this insane package, and we got triple copies of Dark Ruler to break every board. And then for the back row decks, he's got the triple twin along along with the Weeboo button of Red Reboot. And then lastly, the extra deck. So we've got, of course, the Borreload Savage. You've got the best. This is literally the best card of the whole extra deck. This card is crazy. Someone compared this card to Painful Choice. They're so right. Like, this card is just insane. Like, this is one of the best cards ever printed, and this just makes his deck insane. You've got, of course, the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and then he does play Zombie Stein. I found this interesting as well. Being able to add another negate on top of your board is crazy. Plus, it is a 4500 beat stick. Like, this thing is just huge. Like, you actually can just even bait Dragoon and then literally make this thing. You can just punch over Dragoon. Like, this card is just crazy. Like, I played this card in the past, like in Danger Thunder, so like I remember how powerful this card was, and just having another negate is awesome. So I love to see it in here as well. He's got, of course, the Appaloosa. He's got the Boral Sword for game. He's got the copy of Romulus to search Ravine and other combos. You got the Pisty, of course. Sadly, no more LP, but Pisty gets the job done as well. 2 copies of Hieratic Seal. This card is just nuts. Like, at worst case scenario, ending on Seal and Tiding is just ridiculous. It's 2 interrupts, and it can just do so much for the deck, so it's pretty crazy. You got the copy of IP Masquerena. You got the Unicorn. You got the Quad Boral. You've got the Striker Dragon, and you've got the Triple Burst Dragon. So I found it interesting in this list. The one card that I noticed that isn't in here was he did not play Omni Brotor, so I found that very interesting, because usually a lot of the lists do, but I loved, again, the highlight of this was really the Chalice for me. I think Chalice is just so strong and so well positioned for the rest of this format. It'll be interesting to see like what it does in the upcoming formats as well. Once our ban list drops. This is a card that's been around for so long and has gone in and out of play. Like, it saw play back in the old Zoo format, and it's seeing play again, just how good it is against Revolt. It's like against the target off Revolt and everything. Like, this card is just crazy, and it just can be a really great interrupt, and the fact that it plays around triple tactic talents as well is fantastic. But that is the deck, you guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts on Dragon Link for the rest of this format. Again, I think the deck is very well positioned, and even though it's not having as much success, I think we're going to continue to see the loyal Dragon players bring it out and really just see what they can do with the deck. I think that, again, even though they lost LP, they're finding ways to make it work. If you notice, he also did not go the Floodgate route. He did not go the Rivalry of Warlords route that we saw in some of the last lists that we covered. That became like one of the main staples in like the deck, but I like the fact that he didn't do that. He went another route, and again, he played a more versatile card in Chalice, and then the rest of the stuff is pretty straightforward. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. If you're playing Dragon Link, how have you made your changes to the deck and be able to make it compete in this format? And do you think this? I can't think of a single card that would get in here. Maybe they do something about Seal. I've seen it in some ban list predictions, but honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the deck is pretty much set as it is, and then it'll just be up to players to continue to, you know, work on it. The only other card, if I were to predict, would maybe a slight touch to quick launch, but who knows? So it'd be interesting to see what happens to D-Link post our ban list. But yeah, that's the list, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and a special thanks to all my patrons. It's because of you, after all these years, I'm still able to make this type of content. Hopefully you guys will check out some of the videos that are suggested here for you, and just remember, you guys, it's not just a game, it's a lifestyle. Thanks for watching.